As Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi wrapped up his landmark visit to Cyprus this week, the symbolism and timing of his journey have not gone unnoticed in diplomatic circles. This was not just a routine bilateral engagement, it was a carefully choreographed message set against the backdrop of rapidly deteriorating India-Turkey relations, Ankara's growing military embrace of Pakistan, and the unresolved trauma of Cyprus's division. For seasoned observers of Eurasian geopolitics, the events of the past few days mark a significant recalibration of alignments in the Eastern Mediterranean and beyond. I am Gunjan Handa, and let's break it down with the TAC explained. India and Turkey, once bound by shared civilizational legacies and robust trade, now find themselves at their lowest diplomatic ebb in decades. The catalyst for this rupture has been Turkey's unambiguous support for Pakistan, especially in the wake of the recent Pahalgam terror attack that claimed dozens of Indian civilian lives. While most of the world urged restraint, Ankara stood out of its explicit backing of Islamabad, both rhetorically and materially. President Erdogan's repeated calls for international intervention in Kashmir have long irked New Delhi, but this time the fallout has been swift and severe. Indian civil society, businesses, and even government agencies have responded with a grassroots boycott of Turkish goods and services, a move that has seen tourism and trade nosedive and Turkish aviation companies lose crucial Indian contracts. But what truly raised the stakes was Turkey's decision to supply Pakistan with advanced military hardware. Over the past few months, Turkish C-130 transport planes have delivered consignments and munition, anti-tank missiles, smart bombs, and even Bayraktar drones to Pakistani bases, a move that has deepened India's security anxieties and reshaped the region's military balance. For New Delhi, this is not just about Kashmir or terrorism. It is about the emergence of a new axis, Turkey, Pakistan, and by extension, China, challenging India's strategic interests from the Mediterranean to the Himalayas. Against this fraught backdrop, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Cyprus takes on a significance that goes well beyond trade talks and ceremonial handshakes. This is the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister to Cyprus in over 2 decades, and it comes at a time when Cyprus is preparing to assume the rotating presidency of the European Union, and as India is actively seeking new gateways into Europe for its ambitious trade corridors, Cyprus and EU members, with a unique geographic and political position, has emerged as a pivotal link in the India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor, or IMEC, an initiative that directly challenges Turkey's claim of indispensability in Eurasian connectivity. During his stay, Modi was not only conferred Cyprus's highest civilian honor, but was also given a guided tour by President Nico to the ceasefire line and the mountains near Nicosia, territory under Turkish occupation since 1974. The optics were powerful. The leader of the world's largest democracy standing shoulder to shoulder with the president of a divided European nation, gazing across a buffer zone patrolled by the UN troops at the hills emblazoned with symbols of occupation. For many, this was a subtle but unmistakable rebuke to Ankara's selective invocation of international law, loudly championing Kashmiri self-determination while ignoring its own record in Cyprus. The Cyprus visit is a part of broader Indian strategy to deepen ties with Turkey's regional rivals, including Greece, Armenia, and Egypt, all of whom share concerns about Ankara's assertive regional posture. By embracing Cyprus, India is not only reinforcing its commitment to the principles of sovereignty and territorial integrity, values it accuses Turkey of violating both in Cyprus and in its supports for Pakistan, but is also signaling its intent to play a more active role in Mediterranean affairs. This recalibration comes at a time when the Eastern Mediterranean is in a flux. Turkey's aggressive moves in the region, from the maritime boundary disputes with Greece to its military interventions in Libya and Syria, have alarmed both the EU and the United States. Cyprus long a victim of Turkish expansionism, now finds in India a willing partner for both economic and diplomatic cooperation. The joint declaration issued after Modi's visit reaffirmed India's support for Cyprus's unity and called for the resumption of UN-facilitated negotiations, a stance that aligns New Delhi with the EU and broader international community and stands in stark contrast with Ankara's intransigence. Perhaps the most striking aspect of this new dynamic is the way it exposes the double standards at play in international diplomacy. Turkey's persistent effort to internationalize the Kashmir issue have been met with growing exasperation in New Delhi, which sees Ankara's silence on Cyprus as rank hypocrisy. The parallel is not lost on Nicosia either. Modi's walk through the old city of Nicosia, his meetings with local leaders, and his public statements of solidarity were all carefully choreographed to highlight the shared struggles of nations grappling with occupation and the frustration of international indifference. For India, this is also about narrative and precedent. By foregrounding the Cyprus issue in its diplomatic arrangements, New Delhi is reminding the world that principles of sovereignty and non-interference cannot be selectively applied. The message to Ankara is clear. If Turkey continues to challenge India on Kashmir, it should be prepared for New Delhi to challenge Turkey on Cyprus, both in bilateral forums and on the global stage. Beyond the symbolism, there are concrete, strategic and economic interests at play. Cyprus is set to become a key node in the IMEC, a trade corridor that aims to connect India to Europe via the Middle East, bypassing Turkey altogether. This initiative, long dismissed by Ankara as unworkable, is now gaining traction precisely because of the growing trust deficit between India and Turkey. By strengthening its ties with Cyprus, India is not only gaining a reliable partner in the EU, but is also expanding its footprint in the Mediterranean energy and shipping sectors, areas where Turkey has sought to dominate. At the same time, the Cyprus Gambit allows India to reinforce its credentials as a responsible stakeholder in international law and multilateralism. The joint focus on sustainable ocean governance, climate resilience, and marine biodiversity has highlighted during Modi's visit is a reminder that India's engagement is not just transactional, but also value-driven. In sum, Modi's visit to Cyprus, set against its backdrop of Turkey's deepening alliance with Pakistan and its supply of military hardware to Islamabad, marks a turning point in the region's geopolitics. The old certainties of India and Turkey as distant but cordial partners have given way to a new reality of opening competition and strategic signaling. Cyprus, once a peripheral player, has become a crucial lever in India's Mediterranean strategy, a symbol of shared struggle and gateway to Europe. For Turkey, the message is unmistakable. Its action in South Asia have consequences in the Mediterranean, and its support for Pakistan will be met with a robust and multi-dimensional Indian response. For India, the embrace of Cyprus is both a principled stand and a pragmatic move, one that promises to reshape the dynamics of the Eastern Mediterranean for years to come. I'm Gunjan Handa. This is the Asian Chronicle.